YouTube. You already know. Big Lou, the Latin assassin himself. Your boy. Tap it back in. One more again. Well, what it do? Well, Big Lou, NMZR2. Baby. So, check it out. There's going to be a quick little video. I ran across this article. As you can tell from that thumbnail, that's none other than Earl the Truth Spence Jr. So he's back in the gym. He's training. I just seen a short little clip of him hitting the pads, and he looks he looks heavy. He looks heavy. He looks really slow. He looks sluggish. I don't know how long he's been actually in the gym, working out, but you can definitely tell that it's a different guy. He's going to be making the jump up to 154. You got Tim Tszyu, Terrence Crawford's up there now. You got the guy he's fighting, Madrid Manav, or however you pronounce his name. You got still got Jermell Charlo's there. You got you still got Tony Harris and dudes like that are still around. That are still I think these guys would give Earl Spence some trouble. Earl Spence doesn't look that good. Where he's at right now. But then again, I don't know how long he's been in the gym. I don't know where he started at. But we know that Earl Spence has been through some things out of the ring, out of the gym, in his personal life. So I would definitely because it's only 7 pounds. A lot of people say, "Oh, that ain't nothing," but 7 pounds is 7 pounds. 7 more pounds of coming behind a punch from an individual that's been at that weight class for a while. Again, good example, even though it was 2 weight classes, 14 pounds, but it showed big time. And that was Canelo fighting Jermell Charlo, which was 154, 168. But you can just tell it's a big difference with that 14 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And I'll even go to say that even in the Canelo Munguia fight, as you can tell that, Munguia wasn't used to getting hit like that. Again, I've mentioned how Canelo's real in stature. He's short. He's only 5'8" and a half, 5'9". So at 168, that's pretty heavy for him to fight. So when he jumps up to go 175, he's really out of, he's really, for his height to weight ratio, he's out of his lane pretty much. But since he's so strong and he's a good fighter, he can get by with some guys. He just ain't gonna get by. He's just not gonna work. We know that, but he can't get past Bivol, and I don't think Canelo can get past Beterbiev either, unless he catches him with a good one. But we know that Bivol, like I said the other day, he sticks with his jab. He uses what he knows and what works for him very well, and he's not willing to take chances. And he didn't do that against Canelo. So now back to what I was talking about with Spence. I think Spence has to fight at least 2, maybe even 3 times before he gets in there with one of the main contenders or one of the title holders. We already know Crawford's fighting for the title already. His first fight at 154, but Spence looked terrible in that Crawford fight. Now, I'm gonna read this article. You know what? I'll just get to the article, and then when I get to the spot, I'll just touch on the spots when I get to the spots that I want to address. Okay, so Earl Spence Jr. gears up for return. Earl Spence Jr. is back in training for what is hope will be a fight. The former IBF, WBC, WBO welterweight champion Spence, 28-1 with 22 knockouts, hasn't fought since his 9th round knockout loss last July to Terrence Bud Crawford. And he needs to get back in action. Assessing Spence's form. In the brief training clip of Spence, he looks in good shape with just a little bit of weight to trim off and a need to add more speed. He appeared a little slow in the clip, and he's going to need to be quicker for him to compete against the top 10 level opposition at the junior middleweight division. It would be a good idea for Spence to ease his way back into the competition by taking a tune-up first before facing one of the killers at the 154. He's too big to compete at 147 any longer, obviously, so he's going to be making a jump up against bigger, more powerful opposition than the guys he'd been accustomed to fighting at welterweight. I think that goes without saying, right? So Earl has has been too inactive and gone through too much in the last 5 years for him to jump in with one of the talented fighters at junior middleweight. Now, I don't think one's enough. I think it has to be two tune-ups, if not three. He's been very inactive, not like Jamal Charlo, but he's been very inactive, right? So here we go. Um, Besides the beatdown from Crawford that Spence will be coming back from, he's had these issues that have whittled away from his form since 2019. Two car wrecks. The 2019 car crash was the worst for Spence as he was thrown from his Ferrari and in bad shape from that accident. Okay, so after that car wreck, he faced Danny Garcia and beat him. Right? I'm not sure if he fought Sean Porter before or after. I think it was before. Um, Eye injuries. He's had a detached retina and cataract. Weight gain. Spence has let his weight get out of control between fights and turned his training camps into mini fat farms. And then the inactivity. Just 2 fights in the last 3 years. That's no good. That's no good. And then it says right here, I'm gonna get into this. I don't know what this one is, but it says Earl Spence Jr. Ryan Garcia's worst nightmare. Spence turned 34 last March, and he's fought only 2 times in the last 3 years since 2021. With that inactivity, 2 car crashes, weight gain, and a couple of eye issues, it was surprising that Crawford blew Spence out of the water in the mega fight. I don't know how that was. It was surprising when we know Bud Crawford is a hell of a fighter. He's a boxing technician, you know what I'm saying? From either side. Redemption or fading star. Spence performed much worse than Crawford's previous 2 opponents, David Avanesian and Sean Porter, showing that he lost the edge he once had due to outside of the ring activities. That version of Spence that we saw made Crawford look better than he actually is. I don't believe that. And he may have fooled casual boxing fans who weren't aware of Earl's outside the ring issues that led him being a deteriorated shell of what he once was. Um, yeah, he's a shell of what he once was because he was outclassed, outboxed, outbeat, outfought, outpowered, everything. Even to me, everybody kept saying, "Oh well, he's the natural welterweight," and you know, Terrence Crawford had to come up. In my opinion, Terrence Crawford looked bigger than him. I mean, that's just my opinion, but uh, he's a boxing fans know exactly what happened, what has been going on with pretty much each and every boxer. You know what I'm saying? They stay up on this stuff. So to say that, oh, the casual boxing fan, if you were to say like the people that just know the name and don't really know anything about their resumes and stuff like that, maybe that's what they meant by the casual boxing fan. I don't know. But he just I think, and to be honest, I mean, come on, let's look at some of the Puerto Rican fighters of the past, not Trinidad, but Edwin Rosario, Gomez, Benitez. These guys were legends, badass mofos that that opt to drink, get high, and all that instead of training the way they should have. And what happened? You know what I'm saying? So in Spence's case, he drinks, he likes to drink, and he likes to smoke weed, right? So different things affect people different ways, and it seemed that he was glossy eyed in the press conferences. Maybe it's affecting his hand eye coordination. Maybe it's affecting things. Everybody's not the same. Yes, THC and all that helps a lot of people with issues, but it can slow you down as well. So I don't buy that right there. We'll just see how he looks. I guess he if it's I'm pretty sure he's going to get in there at least one tune-up before he tries to fight a world champion. But with his last outing, the way he looked, I don't even think he deserves any of that. Plus, not besides how he looked, but just because he's making a comeback and he's has to shed the pounds off and all that. So we'll see what happens. This is just a little video I wanted to drop. Talk a little bit about Earl Spence. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys think differently, if you think I'm full of shit, you think I'm off basis, well, what I'm saying, whatever. Just let me know. Get at me, and it's all good in Hollywood. With that being said, Big Lou tapping out, baby, baby.